Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up these sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. That's brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products or sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team off our websites. You can also call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470 for more information. All right. We are talking about, we're talking about all kinds of stuff, but lately we've been talking about glutathione and cysteine and the importance of these really fundamental amino acids that build up the body's most important master antioxidant, glutathione. Glutathione is a tripeptide, we said. It's made up of 3 amino acids. Glycine, love glycine. Glutamine, maybe the most important of the amino acids. And cysteine, which is where we left off yesterday. Cysteine is what gives glutathione its sticky properties, its magnetic properties, its detoxification properties. Cysteine has a lot of different roles it plays in the body. It is a major detoxification amino acid. It's got mental health benefits. It's been shown to help with various psychiatric disorders, especially OCD and addictive disorders. It can help with respiration and may be involved in stabilizing blood sugar. It plays a role in fat metabolism. Cysteine is important for the building of connective tissue. It stimulates the production of connective tissue because of its role. The role it plays in the production of something called connective tissue growth factor. It's also involved in cholesterol synthesis. Cysteine can be thought of as your wellness amino acid. It's attached to meat and it's attached to protein because meat and protein, or not because, but because it's attached to meat and protein, it's a summertime amino acid. It's a wellness amino acid. It's a general health amino acid. We got a lot of cysteine from an evolutionary perspective. We got a lot of cysteine in our systems in the summertime when we were building and when we were hunting. We were getting meat where life was good. Cysteine is a sign that life is good. It's got anti-aging properties, anti-breakdown properties. Very important for slowing down the aging process. Very important for people who are frail, people who are in nursing homes. Cysteine is found in high-protein foods. It's also found in stinky foods. And you want to eat a lot of them as you get older. Not necessarily the high-protein foods, but a lot of the stinky foods. The high-protein foods are probably important also. But you got to be a little bit careful with high-protein foods because of how they tax the digestive system. So if you're going to go high-protein, you want to make sure that your digestive system is firing on all cylinders, particularly at the level of the stomach, with stomach acid and digestive enzymes. If you're on a low-protein diet, you may have a cysteine deficiency, and cysteine deficiencies are not unheard of. They're a real thing. Cysteine deficiencies, especially for people who aren't getting enough protein, whether intentionally they're on a low-protein diet or unintentionally they just don't know about the importance of protein. Cysteine deficiency can lead to frailty. It can lead to psychological problems, and it could lead to the most important thing that well, maybe not the most important thing, but the thing that cysteine is most well known for, which is detoxification. Cysteine is one of the body's most important detoxifiers. That makes proteins and foods that contain cysteine detoxifying foods. That makes eggs a detoxifying foods. Eggs are one of nature's best sources of cysteine. Whey protein, yesterday we talked about, is a detoxifier because of its cysteine source. Anything that has cysteine in it is going to support detoxification. Cysteine is the most reactive of the amino acids. It's got a little piece of sulfur hanging off of it, and sulfur has got a lot of reactivity. Sulfur is a pit bull in a good way. Sulfur's got an attitude. It's got a tenacity. That makes it gives proteins an ability to resist the environment. It cross-links proteins. It makes them harder. It's got a hardening property. I talk about on this program when we talk about cysteine, we typically talk about something called N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine is a form of cysteine, but basically it works because of its cysteine component. And in my opinion, supplementing with NAC, because of its incredible multifunctionality and because of its really amazing cost, it's so inexpensive, it's kind of a must-have. It may be the single most important, most powerful, non-essential nutritional supplement you could ever use. It's not essential, NAC, but it is unbelievably valuable. The list of benefits is crazy. Cold sores, it can shorten or prevent or totally prevent cold sores. It can shorten the duration of a hangover. It can shorten the duration of a cold. It's used in emergency rooms, as we've talked about. It's used for cystic fibrosis patients. It's especially important for the liver. In fact, NAC's protective effects on the liver are probably its most important or most well-known role. It's used for Tylenol poisoning. NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, is a real deal. It's a real problem. It's a major sign of how unhealthy we are in the United States of America. The liver is the body's primary fat processing structure. It does all of its work via the hepatocyte, the busiest cells in the body, the liver cell. The liver cell is crazy, crazy functional. It's got 500 or so different things a liver cell can do, enzymes that it produces, and all the various roles the liver does. The liver processes amino acids, the liver processes sugars, the liver processes fats, the liver processes poisons. And over time, it makes perfect sense in our polluted American culture that the liver would be overwhelmed. And when the liver's overwhelmed, it can't process fats. It starts to develop fats, and that's what fatty liver comes from. It starts to deliver globs of fats, literally globs of dietary fat, unused fat, start to accumulate in liver cells. That's fatty liver disease. All disease is cell disease, and anything we could do to support the health of the liver cell is going to be in our long-term interest. It's not really, the problem isn't really non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's non-alcoholic fatty liver cell disease. And anything we could do that will help the cell do its work efficiently, the liver cell do its work efficiently, is going to support us. And we have NAFLD. Guess what? NAC is a superstar. NAC helps liver cells do their detoxification work. It helps liver cells process drugs. And by the way, the more prescription drugs you're on, the more you need N-acetylcysteine. The more exposed you are to xenoestrogens, the more you need N-acetylcysteine. The more processed dietary fats you're eating, the more trans fats you're eating, the more sugar you're eating, the more you need N-acetylcysteine. Just as given its non-toxicity and its really low cost, it's just a good idea to get yourself on some N-acetylcysteine. I put it in our blemish repair complex. And it's also got, as I say, roles to play in the building of connective tissue. So for people who are interested in just flat-out beautification, N-acetylcysteine can be anti-wrinkle. In addition to being important for helping the joints and the vertebrae, or the cartilage between the vertebrae, the connective tissue in the blood vessels, there's so many roles for this wonderful, amazing supplement. We'll continue when we come back from our break. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. right, we're back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page, brightsideben.com. We've got archives, and we've also got the longevity products and the Join the Team Now link that you can click on if you want to start a longevity business for a one-time $30 fee. You can go to brightsideben.com or also pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com. We've got news stories and blog posts and videos, all kinds of good free information. Just did a recent one on meditation with my friend Jonty Collier. That's at criticalhealthnews.com. Also have a YouTube channel if you'd like to sign up for that. Also, if you're interested in checking out our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com and go to our Facebook page, which is Truth Treatments. I believe it's just called Ben Fuchs or Truth Treatments, and you can like the page and you'll get notified when we do Facebook Lives and various videos. We did a Facebook Live yesterday, which is up on my website. We answer questions about skin health. I've been in the skin business now for 35 years. How long? Since 1982. 37 years. Holy moly. That's I can't even believe that. And in that 37 years, I've learned a thing or two about not only the skin, but how you formulate skincare products that help the skin. And that's what our Truth Skin Health products are. If you want to check them out, they're at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so we are talking about the very fabulous and multi-dimensional and sometimes deficient amino acid called cysteine. Important for building connective tissue, important for the respiratory system, important for the immune system and detoxification. And cysteine's involved in how the body processes fats and cholesterol. There are animal studies that show that cysteine can help stabilize blood sugar, has an anti-inflammatory effect on fats, and helps fat cells work more efficiently. Just ridiculously amazing nutritional supplement, non-essential, but valuable nonetheless. Also very, very inexpensive. I think it costs you like $15 or $20 for a couple months supply, depending on how much you take. NAC also has topical uses. You can apply it topically, particularly to reduce irritation. You can put NAC capsules in your favorite retinol product, and it will decrease the irritation of the retinol. If you use our retinol product, the NAC isn't going to get in. NAC doesn't really go into our retinol gel, but it'll go into a cream if you have a cream. It also will reduce the irritation of benzoyl peroxide if you're using acne products, and this is internally as well as topically. In fact, if you're using benzoyl peroxide, you definitely want to be using some NAC internally. Benzoyl peroxide is really nasty stuff. Benzoyl peroxide is the go-to. It's the only FDA approved, or it's one of the FDA approved. There's a few. It's one of the FDA approved topical acne treatments. So if you're using a benzoyl peroxide cream, break open a capsule of NAC, put it right in the benzoyl peroxide lotion. And the antioxidant properties and the protective properties of the N-acetylcysteine will reduce inflammation and irritation. Taking NAC orally can help protect your skin not just from irritation from topical products like creams and lotions, retinoic acid and benzoyl peroxide, but can also protect your skin from sunburn. In fact, it's a major part of my anti-sunburn nutritional protocol. And interestingly, not coincidentally, NAC also protects your eyes from the sun. So it's got eye protective benefits, it's got skin protective benefits, and you'll see NAC in a lot of eye protection formulas. But the most interesting, or one of the most interesting roles for N-acetylcysteine is in mental health. Cysteine, N-acetylcysteine, has been shown to benefit folks who are depressed or have bipolar disorder. It may be that depression is an inflammatory issue. That's actually the latest thinking among psychiatrists and medical professionals, is that there is a very important inflammatory component to depression as well as bipolar disorders, and this may have something to do with depletion of antioxidants. Think about it. Most of us are subsisting on processed foods. If you're subsisting on processed foods, you're missing nature's antioxidants. Schizophrenic patients, who benefit tremendously, by the way, from N-acetylcysteine, schizophrenic patients are notorious for their antioxidant poor diet. They're notorious for their sugar-rich diet, their processed food-rich diet. But you don't have to be full-blown schizophrenic to be dealing with these kinds of to enjoy the benefits associated with N-acetylcysteine supplementation. You may just have some forgetfulness. You may just be easily angered or easily irritable. Schizophrenia is occurs on a spectrum. You have full-blown psychoses, full-blown craziness, full-blown hallucinations and delusions, and that's one extreme. But then you can have just maybe some emotional disturbances, some anger issues on the other end of the spectrum, and you won't necessarily consider it to be schizophrenia or psychosis, but in a way it's an inability to control the way you think. It's an inability to control the way you process information in your brain. So it may not be different in kind, it may just be different in degree on a spectrum. And if NAC helps schizophrenic patients, it may help people who have just anger issues. I don't usually like talking or suggesting using nutritional supplements for mental and emotional issues, but there is a lot of literature here, including for addiction and obsessive compulsive disorder issues, that N-acetylcysteine may have some protective benefits. We know N-acetylcysteine, has been it can protect against excitotoxins, glutamates, MSG. If you're concerned about excitotoxins, either in yourself or in your kids, a little cysteine may go a long way towards protecting you from MSG and other excitotoxins. According to Dr. Russell Blaylock, who is the kind of go-to guy for go-to physician for a lot of brain health issues, including Alzheimer's disease and excitotoxicity. He actually wrote a book called Excitotoxins. He says that excitotoxicity can cause the depletion of nerve cell antioxidants, and guess what? NAC supplementation is one of the most effective ways to protect cells from the effects of oxidation, as well as just giving them antioxidant support. In fact, according to Dr. Blaylock, excitotoxin expert, using antioxidants is one of the best ways to protect yourself from excitotoxicity. In addition to N-acetylcysteine, you can use vitamin C, you can use vitamin E, you can use magnesium probably. CBD acts in this way to protect it has a calming effect on the brain. CBD is becoming the latest and greatest nutritional fad. By the way, CBD is the real deal. CBD's effects on mental health, on physical health, on things like insomnia and anxiety and depression, on neuropathy, on inflammatory pain, on inflammation in general. All these wide-ranging benefits remind me of another very powerful medication. And the non-toxicity also reminds me of of this powerful medication. It's called aspirin. CBD reminds me a lot of aspirin in the sense that it's got these wide-ranging benefits, and it's basically non-toxic, and like aspirin, it has its basis in biochemistry. You know, aspirin is a biochemical ingredient. That's why it works so well. The body's very familiar with aspirin. Aspirin is acetyl salicylic acid, and salicylic acid is a ubiquitous compound in the plant and vegetable world, so the body has evolved to live with aspirin. Well, in the same way, the body has evolved to work with CBD. CBD is literally inside the body. And there's a lot of a lot of things in common. CBD has a lot of things in common with aspirin. And CBD is also very effective as a calming agent. Aspirin doesn't have the calming effects that CBD has, but it has the anti-inflammatory effects. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side.
Searching for a safe...
Okay, we're back on The Bright Side, and we got lines open at 844-236-6010. I am Pharmacist Ben, and we will get your calls here in just a moment. Got a couple interesting stories. I don't know how many of you guys heard this, but Denver decriminalized magic mushrooms last week, which was kind of interesting. Mushrooms have been illegal. You go to jail for mushrooms, which has always struck me as being kind of ridiculous. But apparently they're using psychedelic mushrooms, magic mushrooms, for psychiatric disorders. And more and more research is pointing to the fact that you can use psilocybin mushrooms to help treat things like schizophrenia and depression and post-traumatic stress syndrome. Just reading an article here somewhere. Can't seem to find it here, but apparently most Americans are getting used to the idea that psychedelic drugs may not be all that bad, as it turns out, and at least when it comes to dealing with psychiatric kinds of issues, especially given the fact that there's really no drugs that can work. In fact, there's no drugs that work as well as things like magic mushrooms and CBD. And I think it's time we rethought the taboo on a lot of these drugs. Researchers have been interested in psilocybin for a long time, but it's been maybe the last 5 or 10 years that research has been suggesting that, really not even suggesting, research has been proving that you could treat depression and anti-anxiety issues, insomnia issues, fear of death issues for people who are terminal or have terminal cancer. Turns out that psilocybin activates parts of the brain that are involved in mood. Psilocybin being the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, and it's even been shown to help people quit smoking. Now, it's decriminalized in Denver. Not legal yet, it's just decriminalized. Broccoli may help fight off schizophrenia, according to a study. Broccoli has been well known as a cancer fighter. Broccoli is a wonderful source of sulfur and calcium, and it's loaded with B vitamins, and it's got some really unique phytonutrients. And now it turns out, according to a study from Johns Hopkins Medicine, that there's a compound in broccoli that can help adjust the chemical imbalance in the brain that's been linked to schizophrenia. It's got something in it called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane, as the name suggests, contains an element of sulfur. Reminds us of cysteine, which has also been used to treat mental health disorders. Something about that sulfur. It's possible that sulforaphane, by the way, sulforaphane has been used is very helpful for eye problems. Sulforaphane, according to the researchers at Johns Hopkins Schizophrenia Center, quote, it's possible that future studies could show sulforaphane to be a safe supplement to give people at risk of developing schizophrenia as a way to prevent, delay, or blunt the onset of symptoms, unquote. And that's from Akira Sawa, director of the Johns Hopkins Schizophrenia Center. I'm going to read one more, and then we'll get your calls, 844-236-6010. Eating less fat may cut the risk of dying of breast cancer. I think this is really important because we hear that all the time about how you got to eat less fat, less fat, less fat. But the problem is nobody makes a distinction between good fat and bad fat. Is it less fat or is it less bad fat? That's what you want to ask yourself when you read these studies. For the first time, a large experiment suggests that trimming dietary fat and eating more fruits and vegetables may lower a woman's risk of dying of breast cancer. Well, we don't know whether it's trimming the dietary fat, trimming the dietary bad fat, or whether it's eating more fruits and vegetables, or it's just eating more vegetables. Personally, I think you got to be careful with fruits. Personally, I think fruits today have way too much sugar in them. I shouldn't say too much, way more sugar in them than they used to. These sugar-laden fruits didn't exist as our bodies were developing. Trimming dietary fat likewise makes me ask a question, which is, what are you talking about? What kind of fat? Good fat, we know coconut oil, for example, is really important and has wonderful energizing compounds in it. Stable fat can be a good source of essential fatty acids, if it's not cooked, that is, not heated. So I'm not buying the low-fat, more fruit thing. Nonetheless, the take-home message here to me is that we have some control over breast cancer or any other health challenges that we may be dealing with through the way we eat. Through a lifestyle in general, exercise, how you think, how you feel, but the way we eat is the key element, or a key element, when it comes to taking control over our health or reversing chronic degenerative disease. So whether you believe that it's trimming dietary fat, eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, the bottom line is we have control. And that's so important to recognize, especially if you're sick, because it can be just so frustrating when you're dealing with a health challenge and you're going to the doctor and you're taking your medication and you just feel like crap and nobody's helping you. It is so reassuring to know that we have major roles to play in how our diseases show up and in turning the disease process around. The body can turn on a dime, but we got to turn on a dime first. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. Let's see what Dorian in Virginia has to say. Good morning, Dorian. Welcome to The Bright Side. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Ben. I'm just calling for a coworker of mine that has MS, and she's very weak these days, and she needs some help. So I told her I would
food.
try.
MS is a food issue.
Yeah.
We had Terry Walls on the program, I don't know, probably a year ago. She wrote a book called The Walls Protocol. She cured herself of MS using food, using intermittent fasting, using the ketogenic diet, using digestive strategies. And if you just listen to the bright side for one day, you'll hear everything that Terry Walls talks about in her book. We talk about it every day on the bright side, pretty much every day on the bright side. And it's just so crazy to me how we will sit and suffer with the most horrible autoimmune problems. MS is a horrible, horrible autoimmune condition. Multiple sclerosis, where you sclerosis everywhere in the body, where your blood vessels and your nerves and your basic body just basically hardens. That's what it means to become sclerotic. It becomes hardened. In the case of MS, the nerves and the nerve tissue becomes fibrotic and hard, and it doesn't conduct electrical energy, and you can't move. And excuse me, and it's a food condition. Like all autoimmune issues need to be regarded as a food condition and digestive tract condition first. Now, if you're injecting things or you had vaccines or you're toxic in some other way, that can be involved also. But the first thing you want to check out when you have an autoimmune disease is food. And the way you can prove this to yourself, and I don't want anybody just to believe what I'm saying, you want to prove it to yourself, is by stopping the intake of food. Just fast for a couple of days and you'll see your autoimmune symptoms will start to subside. It happens every time, or 99% of the time. When you reduce your food, when you fast and you eliminate problem foods, you will notice that you're not inflaming as much. The immune system is activated largely by food, which makes perfect sense if you understand the biology of the body, which is that the digestive system and the immune system are two peas in a pod. They're linked. Immunity lives largely in the intestine. And so if you have an immune problem, it's just logic. It's not medicine. It's not science. It's not complicated. If your immune system lives in the gut and you have an immune problem, the first thing to do is focus on the gut. And when I say the gut, I mean the intestine. All right, Dorian, thanks for your call. Appreciate it. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will take a commercial break and come back with more of your phone calls. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open. We'll be back after this. We are back on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open. 844-236-6010. Don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com, and all the longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to start a longevity business, or if you're an entrepreneur and you want to help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470. Our number today, 844-236-6010. Got lines open. Let's go to Chicago and say good morning to Julio. What's up, Julio? How you doing, buddy?
Pharmacist Ben, good morning. It's always a pleasure to hear you. First time I heard the show in a couple of months, so it's always good to check back.
Glad you're back.
Absolutely.
Are you in the city of Chicago? Hey, Julio, are you in the city of Chicago?
I am in the city of Chicago, yes.
My second favorite city, actually.
My favorite city is Denver. So.
What's that? You're cutting out there.
My favorite city is Denver, Colorado.
Oh, is that right? Where are you from? Are you from Chicago?
Yeah, born in the city, yes.
Very nice. What do you do out there?
I'm a broadcaster myself.
Oh, no kidding. Are you on the air?
I'm a producer and a play-by-play announcer.
That's awesome. Who do you do play-by-play for?
I do play-by-play for a small Division I university on the south side of Chicago, Chicago University, and a minor league basketball team called the
That's
City
awesome.
Bull.
Good deal. Did you go to broadcasting school, or you just kind of stumbled into it?
Broadcasting school, yes.
Where did you go to school?
Western Illinois, downstate of Illinois.
No kidding. Well, it's nice to talk to a fellow broadcaster there, even though I'm just a pharmacist, but I do broadcasting anyway. So what's going on? How can I help you?
In my hectic broadcast world, I've got 4 jobs. I'm also a Lyft driver as well. So sleep is we
have a bad connection, Julio. I wonder if I'm on speaker, maybe get me off, or.
No, yeah, sorry. I'm in my apartment, so my reception's terrible. I just stepped outside. How's the reception now?
Better.
Okay, excellent. So with my hectic broadcasting schedule, sleep is few and far between, and I've started to notice over the last couple of months hand twitching all over my body, and I know that may have to be dealing with little sleep, and also my energy level is extremely low. If I get maybe 6 or 7 hours of sleep when I wake up, a few hours into my day, I feel drained and exhausted. So I'm trying to figure out
all signs of adrenal fatigue and electrolyte deficiencies. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed it, but those are red flags for all that. So first of all, you're living the broadcast lifestyle. Maybe are you eating the broadcaster's favorite foods, coffee and donuts and that kind of thing?
Well, coffee, and I try to stay away from the donuts. I do go to Chipotle a lot, unfortunately, but the eating habits are not good.
Yeah, that's a major part of it. And I'm not going to beat you up on the eating, but just so you know, that's an important part of it. Try to get more fats. Good fats, coconut oil and ketogenic types of fats, not the cooked vegetable oils, but butter and coconut oil and also eggs. And if you can find quality dairy, that's hard to find. Get yourself on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Make sure you're flooding your body with electrolytes. And then as far as the adrenal glands go, I'm going to tell you some nutrients for your adrenal glands, but more importantly, it's things like slow, deep breathing, slow, deep rhythmic breathing, calming the body down, and then keeping your blood sugar stable. Now, that having been said, zinc is very important for the adrenal glands. I'd be on 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate a day. Vitamin C is very important for the adrenal glands, maybe a couple grams of that a day. The entire B complex, but especially vitamin B12. You'll get that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You might have to get some extra B12 if you can get injectable B12. That might help you. Very important for the adrenal glands. Iodine is also important for the adrenal glands. I'm saying these nutrients, but if your blood sugar is fluctuating, it's going to be harder. It's going to make it harder on your adrenal glands. The coffee is going to make it harder on your adrenal glands. And if you're just under psychological and emotional stress, that's going to make it harder on the adrenal glands. So the nutrients, the zinc, the vitamin C, the iodine, those are all helpful. Also, but you got to make sure that you're taking care of the emotional, psychological, and other strategies. Also, vitamins A and vitamins E have an anti-cortisol effect, so that may also help you. And then if you want to use nutrients to help stabilize your blood sugar, use the chromium, the sweeties from Longevity, that's chromium and vanadium, and then also the glucogenics. So you got lots of places to work there, but basically what you're talking about is electrolytes, relaxing the body and strengthening the adrenal glands, dealing with adrenal fatigue issues, stabilizing the blood sugar, and then using all the nutrients that we just talked about for the adrenal glands. Hope that helps, Julio. Anything else you want to ask me?
I appreciate that. I heard the last caller. I'm going to check out that book as well. That sounds like a fascinating read. And then this is more so for my missus to make her happy. I've got snowing problems as well.
Sounds like you're dealing. That's a diabetic thing. Are you overweight?
Okay. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so you want to lose some weight, which you will, but the snoring is part of sleep apnea, which is metabolic syndrome, and that's more blood sugar issues. Sounds like you're dealing with a standard triangle of disease. I didn't ask you about digestive problems, but I assume they're there because you have the other 2 points on the triangle, so it's unlike, you almost definitely have the first point. Do you know you have digestive things going on?
I just know I don't go as often as I would like to.
Yeah, you're looking at the standard triangle of disease right there, my friend. So everything I just told you about, you might want to throw in a food diary, elimination diet. The good news, that sounds like a lot of stuff, but the good news is that there's a lot of stuff you can work on. So even if you just do a few of those things, you're going to start to feel better. Hey, buddy, thanks so much for your call. I want to get another call in. Take care, Julio. All right, sorry I hung up on you there. Kendrick in Minnesota. Good morning, Kendrick. What's up?
Good morning.
Welcome to the bright side.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. What's going on?
I have a question about the N-acetylcysteine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so from a list of the 9 essential amino acids, how come that's not on the list?
Because it's not essential. You can make it from methionine. Essential refers to the fact that you can't make it. If something's essential, it means it has to come in through the diet. Cysteine, your body will transform methionine. Have you heard of that one? That's an essential amino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So methionine is an essential amino acid. Your body you have to get that from You have to get that from foods, basically high-protein foods, but then your body can do a quick little transfer and turn that methionine into cysteine. The problem is, and we're going to talk about this in a couple of days, when methionine turns into cysteine, it goes through a little temporary holding stage or a switchover stage before it just jumps into cysteine. It turns into homocysteine. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's a bad guy. And homocysteine is, I mean, it's not only a bad guy, it's got some benefits, but it's responsible, or it's associated with a lot of inflammatory health issues and aging. And so if you're not completely converting that methionine into cysteine, you can run into a problem. That's where folic acid becomes important, and vitamin B12 and a few other things. We will be talking about that. So to answer your question, I didn't mean to digress there, my friend, but cysteine is non-essential because it can be made from methionine. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes. It helps me. It helps me a lot. One more thing. You mentioned the CBD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that CBD oil, what does it have in it that makes it?
It has CBD in it. CBD has CBD. CBD is one of hundreds of compounds that are found in the marijuana plant, as well as the hemp plant, as well as oregano and hops and sage and thyme, and it's pretty much ubiquitous in nature. These molecules called cannabinoids. CBD is one of them. Well, another place where you'll find these cannabinoids is in the human body. The human body uses cannabinoids, makes cannabinoids from essential fatty acids, and it's part of human biochemistry. And this is what makes CBD such an amazing, amazing medicine. It's like taking in a supplement or taking in a substance that is basically supplementing your own production of CBD. And when we have essential fatty acid deficiencies, which many people do, or we have fat deficiencies in general, which many people do, or we have gallbladder problems or liver problems or intestinal problems, which many people do, we may be CBD deficient. We may not be making the CBD that we should be making, and that can lead to things like anxiety and insomnia and chronic pain and mental health issues and immune issues, all kinds of stuff. So supplementing with CBD in the form of CBD capsules or CBD oil, there's lots of different ways to do it, may help replace the CBD that you should be making and can help and can have beneficial effects on all kinds of things, from anxiety to post-traumatic stress syndrome to sleep problems to chronic pain, all kinds of things. And it's completely non-toxic, and these days it's relatively cheap. So I personally, if you have any of those problems, it wouldn't hurt you to take CBD. And even if you don't have any problems that you know of, it may not hurt you to take CBD, simply because it's a natural compound that's in the body that's very, very, very functional. All right, Kendrick, we're out of time, my friend. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. And thank you to all my Bright Side listeners. I am Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. We will talk to y'all later. Bye for now.